Gifford Pinchot National Forest, Washington State. September 22, 2000. A research team checking bait stations near Skookum Meadow found something pressed into the mud that stopped them cold. Not a footprint. Something larger, a full body impression, roughly 5 feet long, with hair transfers still visible in the substrate. The team was part of a Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization expedition, not casual enthusiasts. Among them were primatologist Dr. John Bindernagel, anthropologist Dr. Grover Krantz, and wildlife trackers with decades of field experience. They had placed fruit bait around the meadow the previous day, attempting to attract whatever animals used the area. The impression was found at the edge of a muddy seep near one of the bait locations. The fruit had been taken. What remained in the soft mud appeared to show a large creature had sat or reclined, leaving imprints of a forearm, thigh, heel, and what researchers described as a distinctly non-human buttock and hip configuration. The team documented everything before touching a single piece of evidence. Photographs were taken from multiple angles. Measurements recorded. The impression stretched approximately 3.5 by 5 feet. The heel alone measured 16 inches across. They spent hours casting the full depression in plaster, a process requiring over 200 pounds of casting material. The completed Skookum cast weighed roughly 200 pounds. It was carefully transported in sections to preserve detail. Hair samples had been collected from the impression before casting, dark, coarse fibers pressed into the mud. The cast also preserved what appeared to be Achilles tendon and calf muscle definition on the heel portion. Word of the cast reached the scientific community quickly. The BFRO organized a formal analysis. The hair samples were sent to multiple independent laboratories. Primatologist Dr. Bindernagel stated publicly that the anatomy preserved in the cast was inconsistent with any North American animal he could identify. That claim was going to be tested. The official response was measured. Wildlife biologists from Washington State and independent trackers were brought in to review the cast and documentation. The Washington State Department of Wildlife declined to make a formal statement. No agency opened an investigation. The cast sat in an unusual middle space, too detailed to dismiss easily, too extraordinary to act on. Laboratory analysis of the hair samples returned inconclusive results. The fibers were primate-like but matched no species in reference databases. A separate analysis by Jeff Meldrum, an Idaho State University anatomy professor, found the heel and Achilles impressions anatomically consistent with a large bipedal primate. Meldrum noted the pressure ridges were not consistent with a fabricated impression. The skeptical explanation is straightforward: a known large animal, most likely an elk, lay down in the mud near the bait. Elk do rest, and their anatomy can leave complex impressions. Supporters of that theory point out researchers may have misread elk knee and hip structure as primate anatomy. Critics of the elk theory note the impression lacks hoof marks and shows forearm detail inconsistent with elk limb structure. The Skookum cast is still physically preserved. It has been examined by multiple credentialed researchers, and the elk explanation has not been universally accepted even among skeptics. No one has successfully replicated the impression using an elk or any other known animal. The hair samples remain unmatched in any species database. So what do you think? Is there a rational explanation, or is something else going on? Drop a comment below, and if you've had an encounter of your own, we want to hear about it. Subscribe to WT Historical for more documented cases from the edge of history.